Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Yes. And can't believe how fast this month is going by. This month is going by so, so fast. Yes. Yeah. Whew. So it is one of those Sundays today. A lot to do and not a lot of time to do it in. Yeah, so yeah. Pardon me for trying to like literally catch my breath today. Yeah, but how's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing today? I hope your weekend has been a great one. Um, Hope you have gotten things done that you needed to get done, and I hope you have done something for you. For me, it was super duper busy, super duper busy. I had to kind of like prioritize some things because I'm only one person, and as much as I would like to do everything on my list and be at different places, I cannot do them all at the same time. So I learned that a lot this weekend. Despite what I wanted to do, um, it just wasn't really working out for me. So yeah, but I see I have somebody in the chat. I would say welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah. Well, we have a lot to talk about today. A lot to talk about today. As you know, um, we always have a different topic, and you never, ever know what we're going to talk about. So, yeah, I'm gonna be diving into it in a minute. So, give me a second, and I'm gonna grab my tea. Hey, 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 baby. Can you go grab my phone off of my stand? Hey, I am back. Sorry for that brief little intermission. Yeah, had to get my tea, y'all, because sometimes when I'm talking, like my mouth gets a little dry, so I need to have something to sip on. So, anywho, my topic for today is: does your childhood dictate your adulthood? And I had to really think about this one because I know that I've been impacted by a lot of things from like childhood that carried on to adulthood and things like that. So for me, this topic is like really real. It's really real. So I'm gonna start by saying what the experts say about childhood impacting your adulthood. So childhood experiences can have a significant impact on adulthood, including your mental health. Um, Adverse childhood experiences can increase the risk of developing mental health disorders like depression and anxiety. And I totally agree with that because um, sometimes you can go through so much as a child that it's hard to really process it, I would say, and overcome a lot of what's going on. So I can definitely see how adverse childhood experiences can develop mental health disorders and depression. Yes. So it said it could also affect your behavior. Like especially as a child, like you don't really understand like why things are happening the way they're happening, and you can like grow up and still end up having issues as an adult. So yeah, I agree with that. Your behavior can be affected by it, especially like as an adult, sometimes you could have seen certain things happening and you carry it over as an adult and repeat some of the same behaviors and patterns and stuff. So yeah. Can you turn it down? Yeah. And also they said it can affect relationships. It can affect relationships. So um childhood trauma can influence how people form relationships in adulthood. For example, children who experience neglect may avoid intimate relationships as adults. Whew, yeah. That one for me is a little touchy because especially if you haven't had the type of relationships that are very like nurturing or um affectionate or very positive, when you become an adult, it can affect you as I mean, when yes, as you become an adult, like what you went through as a child can definitely affect you. Being disconnected and things like that. So yeah, I could definitely relate to that, saying that it can affect relationships as you're an adult. So also they said it could affect your beliefs. So, childhood experiences can shape a person's beliefs about reality. Hi, Alta Bunker. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Yes. So, yeah, like a lot of times. Oh, hi, honey. I see my grandbabies in here. Yes. Yeah, they said like sometimes it can shape a person's belief about their reality. Like if you're going through like so much as a child, like when you get older, like it's hard to really distinguish, like what's real and what's not real because you have become accustomed to a lot of certain things, right? So I can agree with that. Um, emotional scars, emotional scars. Traumatic events can leave deep emotional scars that continue to influence thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Yes, them emotional scars is real. The emotional scars are very real. And sometimes when you become an adult, you don't realize like how affected you really are by situations as a child. So you can carry it on. And like sometimes it takes those moments when you have to like release or you have you know this traumatic experience as an adult and then you think about it and be like, oh my god, like I'm reliving something that happened to me as a child. So yes, those emotional scars can really carry on to adulthood. So I totally agree with that. Yeah. Hey, look who's here, look who's here. I wonder if childhood stuff can relate to lateness. To lateness. That tardiness. Yeah. Yeah. So, self-worth. Self-worth. Um, how much attention a child receives can strongly determine how they build their self-worth. Mm. And that's real talk for me. That's real talk. Because especially being an educator, you know, I deal with all different types of children. Like not all the children have the same backgrounds, so you can kind of tell when they are before you whether or not they have like a lot of positive or nurturing in their life, because sometimes they could be detached. So I really can agree with how they say it could determine their self worth, and they could really go into adolescence or as an adult thinking that they're really not worthy because they didn't get like the care or get the extra hugs and the extra loves and things like that. So I can totally agree with that. Okay, so catch me up. Yeah, yeah. So we were talking about how childhood experiences can impact your adulthood, including like your mental health. You can it can impact your behaviors. It can impact relationships. it can impact your beliefs, and it can leave emotional scars. So, I kind of gave my spill on it. So, what do you think based on these categories? Like, do you agree with that it can affect your mental health?
You said childhood trauma.
Childhood trauma, like childhood experiences, can have an impact on it.
For sure, for sure. I think that whatever you experience or go through is helping to shape your unfolding. Um, yeah, what you're shifting into as you're becoming and developing. Yeah, so like the good things and the bad things and stuff, and so it's like, but yeah, those bad things, those that leave them scars, right? And stuff.
Yeah, because it talked about leaving emotional scars. So like it influence your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors, right? And it said other factors that can influence your adulthood include parental behavior, like how parents communicate with their children can influence their academic achievement, and you can kind of tell, like if a parent is like really involved in their child's academics and their well-being, based on the child's responses and how they cope or deal with certain situations. So I can totally agree with that. Um Denise is saying hi, auntie.
Hi, sweetie.
They said your social economic status. The social economic status of a family can influence a child's academic achievement. So I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah. So they saying like, I don't know. I remember one time just reading. It's what's that? They said that like poor economic status, like poor, basically like poor people have like poor education, poor diet, poor like poor in a lot of other ways as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be like that ripple effect.
The ripple effect. Okay. Okay. They say your environment, the environment in which a child grows up can influence their academic achievement. The environment. For sure. We talk about a lot about that, and even like when you're in education and you have to dive down to like the psychological aspects of a child's life, and they said like the environment really plays a big part in the child's like development and things like that. Yeah, it was this other study that was done. They said that so you can take like what's that? Say like it was they did it with two different orphanages. Okay. And they had like one group. They said like they put these children in a really beautiful environment, but they were like where they had everything, tennis courts, denied. And but they were really like stern with the children, but kind of cold, kind of unemotional. Didn't really show a lot of love. Oh, okay. But then the second, you know, the second one, they had them in, tight quarters. They didn't really have a lot, economically, but they poured a lot of love onto these children. Oh wow! And they were talking about that, the ones that developed, better, have better futures was the ones that got love instead of the ones that grew up in the beautiful spaces. Wow. But yeah, so it's like environment and all this stuff. Everything matters. But it's like love be counting the most. Love be counting the most. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. I see Nisi Poo is in here. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, so we're talking about does your childhood impact your adulthood? So it's very interesting to see what the experts say about this because I know from personal experiences that a lot of things that I went through with my childhood did carry over to my adulthood. So this is kind of a touchy subject and topic right now. So yeah, but it's just interesting to get thoughts and views on it and see what other people had to say about it, right? So and they said genetic factors can actually influence your adulthood. Absolutely. Right. Oh, because like that stuff, it definitely be like in what's that? They talking about the multi-generational, like stuff that gets all caught up in your DNA. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the example of like they do this experiment with these mice.
Ooh.
And it's something to the nature of like where they it's something that the mice want that's down this one tunnel, right? But and it's like a smell or something. And but once anytime the mice would go down that tunnel, they would get shocked.
Ooh. Wow.
And so, but they said 7 generations later, the mice won't like don't like that smell anymore, and won't go down that tunnel, even though they never had the experience themselves.
Wow.
You know what
All
I'm saying?
right. Hi,
So,
Ruby. Thanks for coming in.
yeah. So as soon
Wow,
as I
that's
heard about that, I
interesting.
immediately thought about that enslavement period, that
Wow.
enslavement era, and what up, what people went through, and so then
Wow.
they're 7 generations later,
Yeah.
still having those experiences, never having gone through those
Never having
experiences,
actually gone through those experiences.
but still
Wow.
feeling the effects
Felt
of it.
effects. That's deep. That's deep.
Right.
And they say chance. Chance can explain some aspects of a person's life.
Mm-hmm.
Just different chances.
Mm-hmm.
So it's saying that can the childhood affect your adulthood? Yes. Childhood trauma deeply affects mental health in adulthood, often leading to disorders, depression, and anxiety. Mm-hmm. Trauma changes your brain development. Yeah. Yes, it definitely does, especially with kids. They say like it can like literally start in the womb a lot. Like stress can definitely carry over from the womb. So a child could be born with having like mental disorders or stress and stuff like that. Like that stuff is real.
And they're passed down.
They're passed on through the mind.
Or the grandmother.
Yes.
Great grandmother.
Yes, like I'm a living witness to that of how being stressed, like especially carrying my child, that it just trickled down and affected my child. And I'm always like advocating that, especially women that are like carrying a child, just be mindful of your thoughts and your situations. Because whatever you're going through, whether it's positive or negative, is definitely going to trickle down and carry over to your unborn child. Right. And can negatively impact them. And sometimes it's hard for that child to really get over things that they experienced in the womb as an adult. Right? So yeah. So let's talk about some more things like why do you feel like sometimes people feel like they can't even be an adult because they're of childhood experiences. So they says some young adults struggling with trauma, depression, or anxiety may feel that they are not prepared for adulthood and its many demands.
And like they're not suitable.
They're not suitable for it.
Because it's like, oh, I've been through this, I went through this, I went through that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know how when you be like, well, why you ain't growing up? Why you ain't growing up? And stuff like that. Sometimes, like, childhood experiences can prevent you from growing up. You know what I mean? It could really, really impact you. They said they'd be afraid of making changes, or they might not have the life skills and healthy coping mechanisms to handle the stressors of getting a job or taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
That's real talk.
Yeah.
That's real talk.
I was thinking about that, like getting stuck in like the time step.
Yes.
Yeah, and like these things that would just be so tough to move past and get over. And as soon as because it's like sometimes there's some struggle, but it's like some people, as soon as you get to the struggle, it'd be like, oh, it's like this again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It constantly reminded of how hard things are.
How hard things are. Exactly. So they said the way to understand child trauma is like psychological. It could be physical or sexual abuse. That's one part of a childhood trauma that can be happening. Community or school violence, and that one for me really resonates because I think when I think about that statement about community or school violence, I think about how students get impacted when you have like people coming into schools and shooting schools and things like that. It's like my heart always goes out to the children that have been impacted by that because that's not something that's still going to go away.
Right.
Your child experiencing something like that, it's going to carry over. It's going to definitely carry over.
Yeah.
Have that negative impact.
Those memories.
And just like being a part of that whole situation Hi, Event yours. Thanks for coming in. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Yes. So that makes me think about that. Like, because school violence and having a child, like, experiencing that is really going to have a negative impact as they get older. They said witnessing or experiencing domestic violence. And we
Yeah.
kind of touched on that like prior to today about being mindful of like doing a lot of like physical things and emotional things and like in front of children because that can have a negative impact on them. And sometimes like it starts to create a cycle. Like they'll see things happening as a child and they pick up on it and carry over to an adulthood. Like they see someone always fighting and then they think it's okay. That's normal to keep fighting and putting their hands on, start to normalize it, and that can definitely like carry over to a child, to your adulthood. So that's why I'm really like I really pay attention. Like when I see like a young child, especially being in the classroom, that's always like violent, always want to fight, very overly aggressive. And I know that something's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They're seeing this. They're seeing these behaviors. They've normalized these behaviors, and they're like they've developed like a pattern to say this is okay. When I'm upset, if I'm angry, that my first response is to hit.
This is how you respond.
This is how you respond. This is how you respond, right? So I definitely agree with the fact that those things in childhood could definitely carry over.
Yeah.
Right? Like I see it. Like I see it just with my own students. Like I see it. Like I have kids that have like these emotional outbursts. Very very physical. And it's like, okay, you're only 5 and 6 years old. Why do you feel that it's okay to like hit somebody with a chair or go bop somebody beside the head because you didn't like what they said to you? Right. So yeah, so that one like really hit close to home for me. They said national disasters or terrorism can affect you. Like if you're going through it as a child, that it could definitely affect you as an adult. Yeah, and I can see that. I can see that, especially you're young and you see something like that happen. PTSD, exactly, and PTSD is real. PTSD is real. I didn't even realize what PTSD was until I was directly affected by it. So that when I say that's real, that's real. It's definitely real. They say commercial sexual exploitation. When I read that, it makes me think about sex trafficking, stuff like that. Yes, yes. How kids like could get kidnapped or they can be sexually exploited. You know, that happens to you as a child and it carries over and it affects you as an adult. Sometimes it's hard to like overcome stuff like that. Like I'll see stories or they might have documentaries about it. About how they're affected and their adulthood is directly affected from going through that as a child.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's like and seeing that or seeing other people go through.
See other people go through it
sometimes, because it's like sometimes when you just especially like when you're an empath.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You're seeing somebody experience something, and it's like you absorbing all of that.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. You feel the trauma.
You feel the trauma. You feel the trauma. They said sudden or violent loss of a loved one as a child can carry over to your adulthood. Yeah. Like I couldn't imagine going through something like that as a child. But it definitely happens. It's definitely real. It definitely leaves an imprint or impact on children that go experience through that, right? And like you said, and they said we're just talking about how your childhood can impact your adulthood. So these are some examples of how you can be impacted by something that happened in your childhood, right? And you might not understand it. Like you might be going through different situations and don't really understand it until you like have that moment where something directly impacts you as an adult and you say, oh my God, like this something happened to me as a child similar to this or something. Or you go through therapy because you're trying to understand some things and you able to release it and it all comes out, right? And it said like if you're a refugee or of war, like when I read that, I think about like immigrants, coming over as refugees, like their ancestors try to bring them to a better life, and they go through all that trauma, you know, trying to escape like wars and things like that. You know, that stuff is real. That stuff is real. You know, so these were just some things that you know, impacts your childhood, and that could be traumatic for you, and you might even think about that is really directly affecting you as an adult and stuff. So they says, you know, what does unresolved trauma look like in adults? So symptoms of unresolved trauma can manifest in various physical, emotional, and behavioral ways. Common symptoms include anxiety, depression, and chronic feelings of sadness or hopelessness. So individuals may also experience flashbacks, nightmares, or intrusive thoughts related to the traumatic event.
Yeah.
That said a whole mouthful for me, because that brings me back to like PTSD.
Yeah, like the intrusive thoughts, because it's like, you know, the memories.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you don't have to be doing anything for a memory to pop into your head. And be like, oh, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I recall like being in certain situations and have immediate flashbacks of trauma. You know, so like when I say PTSD can hit you a little different, and I'm a grown woman, I'm an adult, and it's like it wasn't things that might necessarily happen as a child, but you know, it happened like in my, you know, early years, and you know, it still carries with me. Like it took me a long time to get over certain situations, you know, because like you said, I had those flashbacks, you know, and I always had those thoughts, you know, going back and reliving those same moments over and over again.
Right. And it'd be like the ways that you'd be affected by certain things that you don't even realize that it's, you know, been the ripple effect of something else.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It could be like an incident that could have made you feel rejected or ashamed or something. You know what I mean? And then it's like, you know, so then in your future you're trying to people please. You know what I'm saying? You know, because you're trying not to be rejected and stuff, you know. And so it's like, you know, sometimes we have any certain actions that we don't even realize that it's something that's connected to something how we might have been treated in our past. And so then we be allowing certain behaviors in our adulthood.
Okay. So, did you know that there's a such thing as parentification? Parentification. Okay, so hello, welcome in. Parentification. Woo. So, what is parentification? So, parentification occurs when a child takes on the emotional or physical roles and responsibilities of an adult and is unable to grow up as a child, but rather has to perform adult responsibilities at an early age.
Oh, you see that a lot in the hood.
Ooh, yes. You definitely do.
Yeah.
Checkers are still there. They can't extend the work to it with the work. Yes, I totally agree with you on that event yours. Yes. So sometimes like you said, like things like trigger certain situations that you went through like as a child. And now it's like it's a such thing as parentification. Right? Like when you've had to take on those roles. That's me. Like you see my sister's point to me. That's me.
She was always the big girl.
I was always the big sister.
And you looked out for us.
I had to step into a role of being a parent in a lot of different situations. And I always looked out for my younger siblings. I always felt responsible for my younger siblings. Like very protective over you guys. Like and it just carries over.
And you was smart, and you was mature, and you was nurturing, and like, you know, you know what I mean? So it's like I said, when I was like 5, you know what I mean? So, you know, like I just remember you just seemed so grown up. You seemed like such a big kid, even though you was only 10 years old. You know?
Yeah.
Like you were smart, you know.
I think of just experiences like caused me to like really like grow up fast, you know, and wanting to protect you know, and nurture, because like so many things were happening. In a lot of cases, I didn't feel like I like had that protection, you know. So it's like, well, I'm not gonna let nothing happen to my siblings. And I think like, you know, how they're saying that stuff can like carry over to your adulthood. So I get like very like protective. Yeah. I do get very protective. Like with family, you know, my children, like very protective and things. So they said like it could be effects and symptoms from parentification. Like some people end up having ADD, ADHD for it. For that. Right, yes. Right. Like you can end up having aggressiveness behind it. You can end up doing self-harm to yourself behind it. Mental illness and mental health issues such as depression, binge eating, or substance abuse disorders based on things from childhood. Yeah. Wow. They say even after absenteeism from school. So when it's just skipping school, they don't want to be no parts of school. Things are happening. Yeah. Yeah, husband said in here, what she tell you, some of our things you're saying, I've said to her, but it hits different when she's hearing it from another adult. Yes, yes. I'm so glad to have you guys in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, this topic touched home for me. Like I always try to pick something that I can relate to, or I know someone that has definitely been impacted by it. And I have been impacted by this discussion today. Yes, and as you hear, my sister Janae just talked about how, you know, I was a parentified child, very parentified child. But they say like what happens to a parentified child as an adult. They say a parentified child does not develop a clear sense of their own needs and feelings. Wow. Let me think about that one. Yeah, like always putting other people. I agree. Like I've always put other people first before me. Like it's like that. Just seeing that and and repeating that. I'm like always like I've never like thought about myself. Like I was always worried about everybody else. You know, everybody else's well-being. Wow. I'm the most likable looks now. You know, check on the responsibility. Good and blood. Yes, yes. And that's me. Event yours. I'm the oldest of all my siblings. Of all my siblings, I am the oldest. So I took on that parental role. Like always being protective. Yeah, you know, used to be like making sure we ate. Making sure, yes. And stuff, you know what I mean? Trying to make us happy. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, so like, you know, because I remember being a sad child. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Like I remember shutting down and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You know, after what happened between, you know, mom and dad and stuff. And but you like really helped me to come out of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's like, you know, you seem like the only adult around that cared. You know what I'm saying? You know, like you know, you was a child. I'm just a child myself. You was a child yourself. Yes, yes. You said putting others first. It makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Like I had started really, really young, putting others before me. Being protective, looking out for my younger siblings. As being the oldest of like 7 children, like putting everybody else first before me. You know, worrying about y'all well-being. Like you said, making sure y'all ate, you know, y'all had clean clothes, you know, your hair was combed for school and things like that. So like it definitely like carry over because I just always end up being like that mama bear, even as an adult. You know, always being that mama bear. And you know, and it's like, and without having any guidance yourself. And I did not have any guidance. You know, did not have any guidance. And, you know. Yeah. Which is wild to me that me being like a whole 8-year-old had the sense to know to like take care of like a baby, you know, change diapers, all that stuff. Not taught to do it, but had the sense enough to care for babies at that age, you know. So it's mind boggling. Just sitting here like talking about it. Just it's mind boggling to me. Yes. Whew, yeah, so I was definitely parentified, guys. I was definitely parentified. Yeah. Yeah, but having to take on that responsibility at an early age. Yeah. So
yeah, that's interesting because it's like, wow, we can even talk about like the effects of like, how that affected my childhood. You know what I'm saying? My parent being my 10-year-old sister. You
mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Kind of thing at those moments,
Yes, 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 yes.
you know what I'm
That's
you
deep.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly, exactly.
You know.
Yes, yes. And I always say, like, now as being an adult,
Mhm.
like I've said it multiple times that I've never really had a childhood.
Mhm.
I never really had a childhood. Um, I think it kind of balanced out a little bit, just like on dad's side, like trying to normalize like what a childhood should look like, going to like the parks and doing things like that. But it was also that child of me that was like, okay, I can't really have fun if things are not going right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always thinking about things outside of the fun. So it's like, as an adult, like, I try to have fun. I try to have fun because I really didn't get to have fun and enjoy my childhood. Do a lot of the things that a child my age should have been enjoying. Like, I shouldn't have been worrying about being an adult, worrying about whether or not my siblings ate, worrying about, I shouldn't have been worrying about
You just made me think about Michael Jackson.
Right.
Michael Jackson always said that he was compensating for the childhood that he
never had. Yes, yes.
And that was the whole, premise behind
Neverland. Yes, yes, yes.
And why he always liked to hang around children.
Yes, yes.
He was like, he never had a chance to
never had a chance to experience that. That's real. That's deep. That's deep. This how this stuff really carries over to your adulthood. That's deep. It's like just sitting here like talk about it. It's like now I have like that frame of mind that I love to enjoy myself. I love to have fun. You know what I mean? It's like I don't not do anything.
Yeah, you know me. I'm like connect with you.
Right? It's like I'm like that big kid. I love going to like the amusement parks and things like that. Me too. Every year, for being attuned to right here in time. This makes yes, yeah. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. I love it. I love it. Yes, like I have gotten that frame of mind that I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna enjoy life. I'm gonna do what makes me happy. Yeah. Even if I seem like big kiddish or immature, it's like this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I didn't get to do that as a child. You know what I mean? I had to grow up so fast. So now I'm all about having fun. So like if you be watching watching my vlogs and different things, I'm living my best life. I'm living my best life. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying. I'm doing things that I really didn't get to do as a child. And I'm making the best of it. Like I'm living now. So and as I think about it, it's like wow, your childhood definitely affects your adulthood. It does. It could be either negatively or positively. Right. It definitely affects it. Wow, man. Yeah, this is definitely definitely.
That's why I like the awareness.
The awareness,
and that's what like therapy and stuff like that really helps with too. Because sometimes, when we be trying to recognize certain aspects of ourselves and but it's like when you start kind of looking at, the different events and stuff, things that happen in your life and how those things could have made you feel like this. And so now every time this happened, you're reminded of that and you go into that fight or flight and you respond in this way. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you have that awareness, it helps you be like, oh, okay, all right, so I see that. So let me tap into that. And, and it's like, when you go and you heal certain aspects of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like going in and healing like your own inner child and stuff, yeah, it's a different type of healing, you know. Yeah. But I even like the idea of, like as as like a therapeutic, exercise. Kind of like write out your own like biography, what I mean, kind of thing, what I mean, and then, and looking at those different points in your life, what I mean, like in your timeline where some of those traumatic stamps and things might have happened and, and how those things, might have made you feel and, and how you might be still, triggered by these certain incidents or,
right.
different stuff like that. And,
right.
what I mean, so that you can kind of do that inner work to try to work through that stuff so that it's not still affecting.
Exactly. Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, and it said that sometimes you can have low self-esteem
It
from
definitely
being
creates that.
parentified. Like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
they said adults who were parentified may struggle with low self-esteem, feeling that they're only valuable when they're helping others.
Oh my gosh. Because, and you know what? It's because as you're going through it, like I
Yes.
can relate to
Oh
these
my
things
God.
with you.
Yes.
That you're reading here.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah, like I feel my best self when I'm helping somebody. That is wild. That is wild.
But it's so interesting too because you are a Cancer.
I am. Yeah, I am.
And cancers are nurturing.
Cancers are nurturing. They
You
are.
know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you read like the the definition of Cancer.
Yeah.
It's like the homebody. What I mean, that's cooking and taking care of the house and happily too, wiping your mouth. Come here, baby.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That is wild, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's like, we need y'all.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want none of the negative things and effects that come along with it.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? So that's why so that's where your people kick in. You know what I mean? For us to remind you how much we appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say you could have low self-esteem, you can have depression, like the constant pressure of caring for others without receiving support in return could lead to feelings of hopelessness and depression.
When you're not getting that.
When you're not getting it, right? Yes, yes, yes. Sometimes you can be pouring so much of yourself, and it can.
Because y'all do pour
Pour a lot, pour a lot.
Give,
And I can honestly say that there's been moments that I've had them times where like, oh man, like where is my saving grace at? Where's my saving grace at? That I'm pouring a lot into.
Yeah, and when you recognize, like, okay, wait, you know what I mean? I'm being taken advantage of.
Yes,
yes. You be like,
yes, yes.
You know what I'm saying? And be like, oh, you have lost all access to me. You can get mad, yo.
When I feel used and taken advantage of, it's like, oh, wait a minute. It's like, I know I'm a naturally caring and giving person. I give a lot of me, and I do it freely because it's just something in my DNA that makes me want to help others. And like it started young, just being protective and wanting to make sure somebody's good. But what comes along with that is people take advantage of me. Yeah, I've had that a lot. People take me for granted and take advantage of it, and then they start expecting, and it ends up being one-sided. And then it might take me a minute to like realize it, but then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'm seeing that everything is always me giving and giving to myself. And how do I feel if I need to ask this person for something? Will this person be here for me? Like, I've had those moments. I've had those tough moments with me, like within the last couple months. Like, I've really had to like sit back and just reevaluate a lot of situations and stuff. Because have had those moments where I felt like, oh, wow, like me being me, doing too much, being that person is like put me in a situation where I'm feeling depleted and feeling used now because I might be in a situation where I might need to reach out, but I don't feel like I can. Yeah. If I don't feel like I can reach out to you, and I know I've like done and went over and beyond, then I didn't that for me that light bulb goes off. Right. Like, could I call this person? Right. That light bulb literally goes off for me. And when I had that thought, like, dang, I can't even call them.
And I'll be like, I feel like trust that intuition.
Trust that intuition. Like, I'm like, I can't even call them. I can't call them. Yeah. Whew, that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. But they said like it could be consequences to like overparenting too. Yeah. Like overparenting. They said like low confidence and the fear of failure could lead to depression and anxiety. Like sometimes like when you had a parent that's just like going over, like had these expectations, like very sheltering, things like that. They said it can lead to the fear of failure. Like, how that's when people like can get depressed or they feel like that they're not good enough and things like that. So yeah, I can see that. They said studies show that when like people reach college, like children of overbearing parents are found to be more likely to be like medicated for anxiety or depression. the data emerging about mental health for the kids confirms that harm has been done.
Mhm.
So it reminds me of that time when kids like been sheltered or something, or like you said, like all these expectations been put on a child, and then they get out on their own,
right?
And they do the most, be wilding, buck wilding, like doing the most, and you be like, like you was such a good kid, like were you really, or where it was just a situation that it was so much put on you that you were just kind of like and this like norm of okay, I can't walk do this. Walk that straight line, and then when you get out on your own, it's like ooh, yeah. Like ain't nobody over ain't nobody here. Right, exactly. And get out and be doing stuff like that's when people be like be dibbling and dabbling and stuff. Might not get in the best situations. Yeah, things like that. So like all this is still for like something going on in your childhood. Like yeah, this is wild to me. Like how like different situations can carry over to you as an adult. Right. They say like even as a parentified child grows up, like as an adult, a parentified child may become a workaholic. Guilty. Guilty. Like working, wanting to do 2 and 3 jobs and stuff like that. Because that's like all I know. Like is to work and provide. Okay, being a workaholic, a high achiever. Yeah. High achiever. Like I've been there for like I'm always got to go to the next level. Like I'm afraid of being disappointing. Don't disappoint myself. Don't be a disappointment to others around me. Like always trying to go for the next level. Yeah. Man. Yeah. That's and real. I can see that, what I mean? And it's been an inspiration, though. It really has, what I mean? Because, it's like, it helps me to want to reach higher heights too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like sometimes I just want to just chill. I just want to chill. Yeah. And relax. Be that person sitting on the beach, sipping a cocktail. Yeah. I know. But my life cheaper. Like, dang it. Like, funny, like because I think about that too, because that's what Owen says to me, like he'd be like, yo, you don't have to work, you have to like I don't know. Yes. But I feel like, even with a, if I was a millionaire right now, I would still want to work. Oh my God. Yeah, it's just things that I would just still continue to do. I would still be trying to help people. So, yeah. I would still, I'll be out, now I'm taking that money and we making programs. Now we got a whole nother mission. No whole nother mission. The money to do nothing to do it. Yes, yes. I'll be like, I'm gonna just be even more busy. It's like my ultimate dream and goal is to be able to like travel the world, live a little. Yeah. Take some stress off my shoulders for always trying to be that high achiever for everything. Like everything I'm doing, I'm always like trying to go to that next level. That I don't get my body, my mind a rest. Yeah. I really don't. You need like what's that? The sabbatical. Yes. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Where you just take like a year off or something. Yes. I would love to do that. Yeah, oh my God. Because I think that you would like regroup and then you would just be ready, like, all right, okay, now I'm ready to, do this and do that and do that. Yes. Seeing these different groups and stuff in need, especially the children. Yeah, like I said, high achiever, a perfectionist. Oh my God. Like that's saying that's how she come with all the information from the experts. Yes, saying ready. Yes, ready, perfectionist. Yeah. Lord Jesus, man, I feel like I'm in a hot seat right now. Man, I'll be like just learning about the topic right before we go on. Child. That is me something like I too like I feel a certain way if things are not perfect. Yeah. Like literally, I'm a perfectionist. Yes, even like when you're doing an event or something, she'd be like, "Wait, look, this is not no backyard barbecue. This is not no backyard barbecue." Exactly. I am such a planner. I am such a planner. So, what do you think are the benefits and drawbacks of the impacts of preparation? Hard achievement is good, but at what cost? Having grit to handle a lot is a good skill, but at what cost? Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about. Like me being a high achiever, like my sister was just saying, like it motivated her because she saw me like always on my grind. like you said, like it is benefits and drawbacks to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sometimes like, being a high achiever can be a drawback, because you're always working. You don't take that time to like rest. You don't take that time to live. I would say, constantly chasing, and sometimes you can chase so much that you can chase yourself into the grave, like literally chasing.
Yeah, like chasing like success.
Chasing success.
Like reach one goal and be like, all right, okay, let me,
yes,
maybe another one right
yes,
after.
yes, yep. Yeah. So yeah, it's like she said, it could be a good thing, but like at what cost?
Yeah.
At what cost? So I'm learning to like balance. I'm really learning to balance it out. Because I put a lot of pressure on myself. I do. I put a lot of pressure on myself to succeed. I don't like failing at anything. And I think for me that's a drawback because I don't give myself a lot of grace. Like if I feel like I didn't accomplish or achieve something, then I can't be like hard on myself. So that could be the drawback. But I guess the positive note is that I'm always trying, and like it makes me want to keep pushing and like be successful and like don't give up. So having grit is a good skill, a mindset to have. Because you really don't want to get complacent. And like I said, I just feel like that was the cards that I was dealt with. Being parentified. That I don't know how not to be pushing. I really don't know how not to.
See, so for me, that's like the silver lining with things. I feel like all the different things that we go through, that help to shape us into who we're becoming. Right. Especially if we take it and, make it useful. You know what I'm saying? Right. Take the benefits from it.
Mm-hmm. So, but what about those situations when they say when you're being parentified and it's saying like you had to be like a mediator between your parents, or being expected to provide for the family financially? Yeah. Like feeling responsible for the parents' well-being, as a child.
Yeah, it's really
that's really tough. That's really tough.
Yeah. When it's like the parent's supposed to be caring for the child, but the child is caring for the parent.
Paying for the parent. Like I've seen so many different stories about like kids like dropping out of school and things like that because trying to get jobs to help financially support like the parents in the situation and stuff. And the siblings and things like that. I just thank God that I was strong enough to like go to school, go to college and things like that. But it's like, but I did have that burden and that weight to like provide and support, So, but a lot of kids don't like bounce back from that, Don't they really don't bounce back from that? Like they have to be the mediator between whatever their parents going through, and they take the burden of it. And like I feel like it's not fair for a child to carry the parents' burdens. It's really not fair. It's not as a child. As a child, I know we do it like as adults. You have a parent. Sometimes your parents get sick or something like that. And that's like a whole different realm right there because you are an adult. But as a child, it's tough to put that burden on. Put that burden on from a parent doing that to a child. Have that type of burden. Whatever. So that could be deep. So and it gives me a lot of insight to like when I look at like adults, like how they react to things, like how they move, how they do certain situations. Like it could like definitely be from an impact of something that happened in their childhood, So
for sure.
Yep.
Because everybody got a story.
Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. Like it's like, I'm kind of touching a little bit, on some of my story, but it gets deeper, but the whole reason for this conversation, this topic, is to bring awareness. Because sometimes, like as an adult, you might be going through something, or you might be having experiences, and you look like, where is this coming from? Right. Like, why am I like this? Why am I going through this? Why do I have this thought process? And something like that. And just me like reading a lot of this stuff, it's like, wow, like this definitely hits home. It's definitely
Yeah,
a
and
tone.
that being frustrated.
Right.
Sometimes, like when you don't know,
Right.
or when you can't find it or
Right.
figure it out, or but that's why it's like that. I mean, I always go back to the inner work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I love about like sound healing so much too, because it's like it just taps into all those different areas.
All those different areas.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like that, like that healing that penetrates into the cells, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it creates those ripple effects of healing and healing like through the generations.
Through the generations.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? From that generational trauma that you be carrying in your DNA. You know what I mean? Because it's energetic healing. And stuff, you know what I mean? Because we do hold on to a lot of stuff.
We do hold on to a lot of stuff.
And it just be affecting us right in our current, and we be like, all right, it's like we want to heal from it, but it'd be like, how? Where?
Wow.
And,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like you have to narrow it down, you have to find it, you have to find tension, or, you know what I mean? Because that tension is sitting somewhere inside
somewhere.
of you.
Yep. So experts say that it is possible to overcome difficult childhood and the mental health conditions that may be associated with it.
Right.
And here are some ways that you can heal from it. They said therapy. Hello, welcome in. Yeah. Therapy. They said a therapist with training in trauma or psychodynamics can help you process your past experiences. Wow. It said develop coping strategies and build self-esteem.
That was a lovely segue from
that was. Yes. Thank you for coming in. She stole my thunder. Appreciate it. Yeah, and they said like some evidence-based therapies include cognitive behavioral therapies, trauma-focused therapy, and cognitive processing therapies. Wow. So they can literally help you like develop coping strategies and stuff.
Right.
Wow.
And see, like you said, all right, like those different like I used to be like in strength-based, therapies, because it's like, just finding out what things you're really good at, and trying to focus on those things and stuff. You know what I mean? But that trauma-based therapy, sometimes you really do need that, and sometimes people don't want to focus on that because it's like, it's traumatic. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you're talking about something and you're reliving it and stuff, you know what I mean? But sometimes it's like, once you can bring up that memory and, what I mean, kind of, shake up a bit, what I mean, and kind of get a different perspective, of those situations, stuff, it can just like automatically kind of like change what's happening with you right now. But it's like, like I said, it's going, and like it's almost like going back to that child that experienced it, and and maybe they need to what I'm saying, just kind of take a different perspective of it. It could just be like forgiveness, or even them understand that it wasn't their fault.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that too. It's funny that you just said that. It's funny when you said that.
Yeah, because that'd be sometimes why you holding on to these things, and why you still be having these carrying out these behaviors.
Yes.
Because you still blaming yourself for something that happened to you, or what I mean, or just, what I mean, however it goes. But yeah, but go ahead, I'm gonna let you get back to the experts.
So experts they said self-discovery, confronting your past experiences and accepting them can lead to healing. That's pretty much what you just touched on. Like acceptance is like leading to healing. Yes. And sometimes it's hard to accept it though. It's like, why did I have to go through that? It's crazy. But they said that's part of healing, just accepting things that you went through as a child. Wow. They said emotional intelligence, like developing your ability to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions can help you navigate social situations and build relationships. Emotional intelligence.
Yeah, that's been like a big thing I've been hearing a lot of lately.
Yes, emotional intelligence. Yes. Recognize, understand, and manage your emotions.
Recognize.
Yes.
Understand, and manage.
Yes.
Man, it's like that's three things. We be having enough a hard time at the first one. Recognizing
it. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people be like, I'm mad, and it's like, all right, what I mean,
why are you mad?
And it's like just them different frustrations be coming from various places.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to like narrow that down. It's like, what I mean? Like you might be mad because you hungry or you sleepy or you just might be, what I mean? It's something else that's stressing you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's causing you to feel that way. But it's like you said, recognizing, like the proper emotion.
Yes. Yeah, like I said, they can help you navigate through social situations.
You said recognize it and then what?
Understand it.
Understanding it.
Yeah.
That part. You know what I'm saying?
Understanding it. Yes.
Understanding it.
Yes.
And then managing it.
Yes.
Managing it. You know what I mean? When it be already just like so hard to digest.
Yes.
It's like you trying to digest it. Like, what? Like, this is going on and that's going on and this is happening and
yes. Yes. Woo.
Wow.
They said having a growth mindset. Embracing a growth mindset can help you view challenges as opportunities for growth.
I love that growth mindset.
Growth mindset. Yes.
You know what I mean? That's like, it's a willingness to be like, okay.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to expand.
Yes.
Because man, we be so stuck in like yesterday. It'd be hard to have that growth.
Yes.
Allow ourselves to develop.
Yes.
Like we're gonna lose something.
Yes.
You don't want to lose who always been this way.
But is there room for growth?
You know what I'm saying? It gotta be.
Gotta be room for growth. They said resilience. You can recognize how strong and resilient you are and appreciate the people who support you. Yes. I feel like I have been very resilient in a lot of situations. Yeah. It's like, unless you know me and know what I've been through, like you would not understand. You would not understand. Yes. I have persevered.
Yes, you have.
And I have dug myself out of darkness in a lot of situations. You know,
by yourself.
Just being resilient. Just being resilient.
Yeah.
That's tough. Reprogramming. You can reprogram some of your past conditioning.
Epigenetics.
Yes.
What's that? That's been another word that's been coming up a lot lately too. Epigenetics. Talking about something.
Hello. Yes.
Like a way to like alter your DNA. With reprogramming.
Ooh.
Kind of thing. But go ahead. I was hoping that was going to come up. I tried to. That's why I brought. I wanted to like talk. I wanted to mention that.
Yes.
And
reprogramming.
And speak more on it. Yeah, like that epigenetics.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Let's say you can do hypnotherapy. Has been shown to be effective in addressing and reprogramming limiting beliefs and patterns.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. But that's also what I think about chanting too.
Chanting. Oh wow. Okay.
Okay. You know how like things that we're like repeating, or just like when you put yourself in a trance and like meditating. So in a way, wow. So something just came out. I was, spirit speaking. And I was just thinking about like meditation being kind of like this self-hypnotic type of situation, you know what I mean? And especially, when you're doing like a guided meditation with yourself or something, if you're guiding yourself and you're giving yourself these visuals and, you kind of allow yourself to go into this trance and, like you really, literally just like kind of going in and like reshaping, like your thoughts, to help you, to think in a different direction, it's like, like with a guided meditation, say like, or affirmations or something, it may be something you may be thinking like, oh, like I can't do this or something. But when you start thinking about the possibility of being able to do that particular thing and literally like repeating that in your mind, anytime you start to think negative about it, like, no, you flip it. Flip it. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And literally like reprogramming yourself. Yourself. And it's like, you can also do that like with your memories, all those types of things. It's just, so like that reprogram and give yourself, because sometimes it doesn't like it takes time, and I think people just give up too quickly. Because you might need to do it for like 40 days. But they'll get to that 35th day and like, oh, it's not working. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to keep at it. So that consistency with
Yes.
the programming, because we don't just program instantly like computers. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
It takes
Yes.
some
Yes.
time
Yes.
for us
Yes.
to align, to get in alignment,
Yeah, in alignment.
and a proper tuning with what it is that we want or who we want to be. You
Mm.
know?
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see Event yours said that resilience is necessary.
Yeah.
Ability in life to sustain and push through in life. She says she tells her daughter and shows her all the time that it's not about beating yourself up for failing, but how you get up from. Love
Yes,
that. Love,
yes.
love
Yeah.
that. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
That
because you're going to
said,
fail.
yep, exactly. It said, get back up and try again. Don't beat yourself
Yeah.
up. Love that.
Right. That's how you learn. That's part of
That's
the learning
that. That's
process.
part of learning.
That's
That's
part
part
of,
of
I always tell
learning.
my children that's the best way to be successful is to make mistakes.
Mm.
know.
Yeah, and they say that like a lot of people, adults who have like childhood trauma,
Mhm.
they say they can't stick with you in your life because people think that they've always been on their own with them, and so they learn how to cope with them and rely on their own resources.
Right.
Because they like, okay, I've been going through this all this time by myself. I had nobody else to help me get through it and manage it. So they cope and they use their own resources to get through it. Right.
Yeah.
And they said it's easy to heal from it.
Yeah.
Like through hard work and support.
Mhm.
Like self-discovery and understanding and confronting them.
Right.
Yes. So they call them ACEs. Like we talked a lot about ACEs in the school setting, adverse childhood experiences. Because childhood experiences are real. And they can come in all different ways. You never know what a child is going through when they walk through them doors.
Right.
Right. But it says a lot of ways that you can overcome it. Like you said, healing from it. Talk to a therapist about your childhood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of people have that stigma that they don't want to talk to therapists and stuff.
Yeah, which is
But
wild,
it's
what I mean?
why,
And I understand,
yes,
what I'm saying, just because of, our history and, the things that we believe about and stuff. But I feel like that's what makes Black psychologists and Black counselors and stuff like that so necessary and important.
Yes, yes,
You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes.
To have trained, people who have been trained, to have these conversations
Yes.
and stuff, what I mean, that know how to listen and, that can really help you work through this stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is more than like just having a conversation.
It is more than having a
You know what I'm
conversation.
saying?
Yes.
You can just have a conversation with, your neighbor or something like that. But when you go in and you have these conversations, like I said, with people who are, like I said, just trained.
Just trained, yes. Yes.
It's something different, what I mean?
Yes.
It's something different.
Yeah. They said build a support network of people you trust.
Yeah.
My network is small because I do have a hard time trusting people because I've been in so many different situations where people have like hurt me or stabbed me in my back, try to circumvent things I had going on. So I do have a small network.
Yeah.
And sometimes like me stepping out of that is really tough because I'm never like open to like the outside world because sometimes people come into your circle and you don't know if they have good intentions or not. It's like, do I trust you? And do I really trust you? Like I do try to align myself with people that I really trust. Like I've shared a lot of my story with people, but it's because I feel like I can trust you with my story.
Yeah.
Some people you can't trust them with your story. Like it's like certain people like I might have been known for like years. Like I won't even invite them over to my home. Some people have not been over to my home, but then I might meet somebody moving forward and I feel comfortable. Something in my spirit says that I can trust you. And I bring you into my world. I invite you over to my home, do things with you, might share something with you that I might not have shared with anybody else, or something like that. So they said like building that support network is really, really important.
I'm trying to read this question here.
So because we have gone through it, did you find yourself making it hard for others because you had to take the hard route? Where do you draw the line of giving the fish or teaching the fish? Yes.
So
yes.
What they say, like, all right, so like, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that when people say like, like they try to make you go through something hard.
Yes.
Because
yes.
oh well, it wasn't easy for me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, kind of stuff like that. I be feeling like they be hating.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
They be like,
exactly.
You know
exactly.
like,
Some people actually literally think that.
Yeah,
like I've gone through it. You
was
need to go through it
for
too.
Me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You gotta earn some dues or something and go through like this same traumatic situation. Like it'll be too much for them to help you. You know.
Yeah, I've never personally thought that because I've gone through something hard or traumatic that I need to put somebody through it. I've never personally felt that way.
Right.
Like I try to make it easier. Make things easier. Because I've gone that path or I've been directly affected by it or gone through it. I don't want to see nobody else go through that.
Exactly.
I don't. But some people don't really think that.
Pave the way.
I'd rather pave the way. Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, just like, you know what I mean? Because that's what our ancestors did for
right.
us, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, let them pave the way.
Yeah, like, yeah, it's better to try to make the journey easier for somebody. Like, if you got something you can share, to steer them away from that hard road, do it. Right. Don't be like, nope, figure it out. Exactly. You know, I don't think that's not fair.
It's not.
Like, just figure it out. I had to learn the hard way. But a lot of people get that mindset that it's like, all right, well, I got through. There ain't had nobody to guide me through and steer me the right way. So you need to figure it out too. That's not right. That's not cool. I see you said something about like, you know, teaching the fish or, you know, giving the fish. And I think like both, you know, I mean, I would say definitely give them some fish, but also definitely teach them the fish. Like I'm giving you this fish today. Yes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But not tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like, you know, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and then we gonna eat. Then we gonna eat. But I'm gonna show you how to do it. Right. You know? Yeah, they say practice mindfulness to help ground yourself in present moments. Mindfulness. Yes, we need that mindfulness. We do. I know it's been times, but I was just one of those people. You know what I'm saying? They used to snap, always ready to fight. Oh, I know. The results of having I know. Oh, yes, always ready to. She was like a ticking time bomb. And you see how tough she is, though. But she was peaceful right now. Very peaceful now. But after child, oh my God, like this one. My mom used to be like, if you disrespect her one more time, you let that school call me one more time. Like, cause she was always ready to trouble, like always like, whoa, you said something that's right. I don't know what, but I just had these anger issues. Yes. And so I feel like I have done so much work. You have. I have done so much work on myself. You know what I'm saying? So like that mindfulness is huge. It is huge. It is huge for me. It has brought me a long way to just being like, all right. Take deep breaths. Right? You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, all right, I'm not gonna take the bat out my car. I'm not gonna take the bat out my car. You know what I'm saying? Like just right. Yeah. That's how you just gotta be mindful. Yeah. I mean, I do that all the time. Like I've learned that model of think twice, react once. Yeah. You know, instead of it being the other way around. And like even like in the classroom, like, you know, working with children, they have this mindset, especially after they've like had recess and they're in their frame of mind that, okay, it's still play, it's still play. I always do a mindful meditation. I'm like, okay, let's get our minds and bodies ready for learning time, because I know you've had this whole hour of fun and that's all that's on your mind right now. Now we need to recenter. So I always do like a mindful meditation. I said, just to get our minds and our bodies ready to focus on learning, because playtime is done now. We need to move on to the next part of our day. And it's not part of us playing anymore. It's our minds need to be reprogrammed that it's time for learning time. So I do this every time. Every time we come from like lunch or recess, it's always like mindful meditation. Let's get our minds and body ready for learning. Get playtime is done. Time to move on. So I do that every day. Yeah, and that's so wise, because a lot of children they struggle with that transition. They do. I know this. I know this. They want to still come in family. No, it's not playtime.
Yeah.
Now it's time for us to move on to learning.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get our mind and our bodies right. We're gonna get ready
right
for this transition to move into learning. Because now that we've got it all out our system and we've calmed down and we've had this mindful meditation, now we can open our minds to the possibilities of learning now, and we're not playing anymore. yes. So now, girl, I gotta do what works, child. Yes, I can do what works. Listen, yeah. And they saying setting boundaries with people and places that don't uplift you.
That's right.
Yes, setting boundaries. Yes, I have had to learn that. Setting boundaries, which was hard for me. It was very hard. I mean, it was very hard for me. Like, I always wanted to be open and being available and giving and being that person. And I just had to be like, I gotta set some boundaries. As painful as it may be to say no, like, I need to do that at this point. And not feel guilty about it. Like, I don't feel guilty about it.
Oh, no, yes. It's all about the unapologetic no.
Yes, like, and not feel guilty about it.
And not, you know what I mean? Because I used to be like, oh, no, I'm sorry, I can't, you know what I mean? Stuff. Now I just be like, no. I'm not sorry.
No, sorry.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I mean? And reminding myself that no is a complete sentence.
No, it's a complete sentence.
You know what I'm saying? Just being like,
yeah. And they said, like, how can you, like, move forward? Like, if you've been going through a bunch of pain and betrayal, like, as a child, like, how can you move forward to healing as an adult? Like I said, like, seek professional help. Yeah, we talked about that, getting therapy. They said develop positive skills to move forward.
Develop some positive habits.
Yes, from going through a lot of pain and betrayal, talking it out. As an adult, sometimes you might have gone through stuff as a child. Sometimes talking it out as an adult with the person that caused you pain or betrayal might help you move forward. And not be carrying it.
Well, and pardon me, and sometimes you can't talk to those people.
You can't sometimes.
You know what I'm saying?
But talking it out.
Yeah, but talking out, even if it's talking out to your own self.
Talk it out.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And, and writing it out. I think that writing it out be like, so it really helps with getting it out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, like that talking out, especially like, with the trained professional, somebody who is trained, I can't, because, I think that some people, like, they just don't believe in, and I didn't either. I remember the first time, I was in therapy, I was forced to, you know what I'm saying, in the military. It was like one of those things I had to do. But I sat and I would not talk to this woman. And it was just like nothing she could do to break through to me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like, you know what I mean? I just wasn't interested. I just wasn't interested. I didn't believe in it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, how can she help me? That was all I was thinking. It was like, what can she say
to you to help you?
You know what I'm saying? That's gonna, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, I just wasn't giving into it. You know what I mean? To the process or just anything.
So did you eventually try to get rid of it or no? Or you never did?
Years later. It was like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It was just, it was like, I remember at that time thinking like, man, I need to go to church.
Well, that was the church.
You know what I'm saying? And that was all I was thinking. It was like, I ain't talking to her. She don't know me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But, they said growing up in church, it was like, all right, like, I need to go to church.
Yes.
And that was really, and I know that we have that.
Yes. We have that strong foundation of church.
You know what I mean? Yes. But it's like, that's when you really have to do that inner work. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of folks, they'd be like, all right, like, I'm giving it to Jesus. But Jesus is you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and you still... I used to feel like, it's like people be like, oh, turn it over to Jesus, and then you're not doing the work because you're looking for Jesus, but Jesus is you. You know what I mean? Like,
you gotta put in the work too.
You have to tap into
it.
And become Christ-like, and you know, being that, that energy, and but that's the whole nother.
And they say silence your inner critic. Being critical of yourself. Being critical, silence that. Shut that down. Shut that down.
Speaking that love
and light to yourself. And get in touch with your inner child. Yes. I do that a lot. I get in touch with my inner child. I do things that I didn't do as a child. Do things that make me happy. Because I didn't get to do a lot of stuff growing up.
Right.
So I definitely tap into my inner child.
Yes.
And I might have my silly moments. I might
That's
be
why I love
playful.
smiling and
Yeah,
laughing.
it's like you might be like, girl, grow up. Like you was a whole 50 years old doing them. Okay, Ann. For real, I like having fun. I'm enjoying myself. I'm living my life.
And you know they got this thing talking about these teenagers.
Teenagers?
Teenagers. Like these older people that are like, you know, like these seniors that are like they like reliving like
their
teenage
teenage
years or
years.
something. You know,
Okay.
like they were just in touch with their youthful time, and they call themselves teenagers.
Okay, that's a new one. And it's like in a way to like overcome like being critical of your childhood. Give yourself a timeout.
Yeah, how about
Give yourself a timeout.
Yes.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
Give yourself a timeout. Like journal about the criticism, like from your parents and stuff. Allow yourself to notice your childhood patterns.
Yeah.
And current things. Journal about it.
I have an exercise for that.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, what they call it, I think it was Lisa Nichols.
Lisa Nichols.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lisa Nichols.
Okay.
She talks about she's really awesome. It's a whole bunch of people. We need to you know, just do like a show about that. But Lisa Nichols is one of those folks where but she said that write down your doubts or you know like the lies that you tell yourself.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
Mm.
Yeah, I spoke to a young person recently that was like, I'm never going to fall in love. I'm never going to have children. And I'm like, girl, you 20.
20.
You like, calm down.
Calm down.
You know what I'm saying? You know, but that would be an example. Like, okay, you know, like, you know, write them things down and then, you know, and then write down like an affirmation for that that's in a positive light though. Wow. Because you don't want to be affirming that. You know, never gonna you don't want to stamp yourself with that. I'm never going to this and I'm never going to that. And it's like, no, you know, so it's like you turn it around. It's like, okay, you know, like, you know, I, you know, like I will have, or I'm attracting, you know, I'm attracting a loving, nurturing relationship. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's going to produce this. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. And just really turning that around. And then she said, you know, but she was talking about this exercise where you say like I guess I'm gonna say negative, you know what I mean? You know, or the doubtful thing, and then you say the positive thing, and then eventually you erase the negative thing, and then you only keep repeating the positive thing. Wow. To kind of to shift the programming. Love that. Exercise.
Yeah, that reminds me like having vision boards. Like I made like a whole vision board of things that I want to see in my life, things to manifest. Just love that. Like we said, like journal about your good qualities. You just said that. And when you interact with a critical like parent or person, step into the role of being the adult observer. And rather than being hurt or criticized as an adult.
Oh, so they like step outside the window.
Step outside the window.
And look at it from the outside and be like, you know, because then you'll start to see, oh, well, that person, they're being like this because of what they went through. As a child, you start to understand them a little bit more, and sometimes it helps you to not take it so personal. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you can be like, okay, they're being like this with me because they experienced that and they experienced that, you know what I mean? And instead of, you know, like taking on all of that, you know what I mean? And just like, you know, like I said, making it like personal, like it's all about you, you know, try to understand that maybe they, you know, just going through something. But that's just my thought.
Okay, so before we close out, so it was a question about how can I move forward after a difficult childhood. So how can I move forward in life without feeling pain? So the answer that expert had to that question was there's no simple or easy way to expunge pain that is deeply embedded into your subconscious mind. But if you are patient and with divine grace, progress can be made. Consider then these steps and thoughts about it. So, 1, begin to ask yourself, what can I learn from these painful memories? How can I turn what seems dark into light of wisdom?
Exactly. Yes. How can you transmute that energy and use it to like build you instead of tear you down?
And a simple and obvious thought would be this: vow never to do the same things to anyone else in your life. Certainly not your child. if you were to have children or already do have children.
Yeah, see, and that was one of the big things.
Yes, that was the biggest thing. That was the biggest. Yes.
Want our children to go through the things that we went through. So we worked very hard at being good mothers.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. That part right there. That part right there. Yeah. Like, I did not want the cycle to repeat itself. It's like things that I had to go through as a child, I never want my children to experience ever. Like, they're adults now, but I never wanted them to experience what that was actually like. Right. I never wanted them to grow up too fast. I wanted them to be children, enjoy their childhood. I always say, you're going to be adult much longer than you're going to be a child. Much longer. Okay. I always like embrace your childhood. Embrace your childhood. Because when you become an adult, adulting is a whole lot different. Sure is. Okay? But I never tried to take their childhood from them because I knew they were going to be at some point adults in their life. Yeah. So but I never wanted that cycle to repeat itself. Yourself, you know. So so that definitely like resonate with me. Yeah. It said, but also to adults, when you face conflicts, don't repeat the same patterns with others as been inflicted upon you. Exactly. Exactly. Break them cycles. Exactly. Don't do the same pattern. Okay, I agree with that. Yeah, and I understand sometimes it be like ingrained. You can't help but like you find yourself acting like yes. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just but it's like recognizing like, whoa, like I'm doing the same thing to you that this person done to me. Yes, you know what I mean. Yes. Recognize it. And break the pattern. Break the pattern. They say psychologists have established that victims of abuse have a strong tendency to abuse others in turn. Yeah. Woo. Yeah, that part right there. Because they be thinking like that's the way. That part right there. That part right there. You know what I mean? When I hear people be like, especially when I hear folks screaming, because I don't play that. Like somebody screaming, that's the easiest way. I'm like, Lord, you're fine. You know what I'm saying? Lord, you're fine. Because I don't like that. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they be like, no, like you don't want me to go there with you. Right? Because I can go there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you might not like it when I turn green. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be like, let me be like peaceful. So don't like that. Stay in that peaceful zone. And sometimes you find out though, it's like, but that's like the way that they grew up. That's the way they grew up, and they only that's all they know. All they know is the loudness and getting really over aggressive and then yelling. Sometimes that's all they're just accustomed to. But it said to break it because that sometimes when you go through that as a child, it carries over. Like how you said, like you be used to seeing like parents fighting or hitting each other, a lot of violence, and you grow up and you think it's okay. Like you start hitting, like that's when abuse comes in. Exactly. Like you put your hands on people and stuff like that. Like break it. Yup. It said make the effort to become conscious, compassionate, calm, respectful, and accepting person as an adult. Make that conscious effort to do that. Make that conscious effort. And what's her name? Eartha Kitt, when she said, I am addicted to bettering myself. Russell Soul, Eartha Kitt. I love her. So even though we don't want to for our own children, do we also find ourselves having certain what they say? I ain't got my glasses on. Okay. Yeah, so maybe we'll another question. So even though we don't want that for our own children, do we also find ourselves having certain responsibility or expectations of our children? Like graduations or that? Yes. Totally relate to that. Yes. Like, I don't want them to go through what I went through, but in the same token, I want them to do better. Be better than you. Be better than you. Yes, because you're giving them a better opportunity. So I can totally say that I have put in a lot of expectations on my children to do better and be productive members of society. Like it was like I had like a no nonsense policy in the household. Like with the girls, it was like books before boys. Like it was no having boyfriends. Worry about them books. Get yourself together. Get your mind right. Do what you need to do for you. Boys, no boyfriends. Like I was strict. But me growing up, I didn't have that strictness. Like my mom wasn't like all strict about me having a boyfriend or nothing. But I was. Like, no, I know with me worrying about boys and stuff did growing up. You know, you could get so blinded, following behind everybody else that you lose focus and sight of what you need to do. So I was real strict about that with the girls, and with the boys, I was like grades before girls. Girls gonna always be there. I tell the boys, girls are gonna always be there. You know what I mean? I was like, get your education, do what you do for you. Them girls gonna be there. So I was very strict on that aspect, like not wanting them to fall into patterns and traps that I fell into as a young grown adult. You know, as a teenager. You know, because, you know, especially like being young, falling in love all young, learning about this boy, then, you know, I was like, I didn't want that. I didn't want that. But I did put a lot of expectations, like, y'all have to graduate. That was non-negotiable. You had to graduate. Although that wasn't put on me, for me growing up, I wanted to graduate and do better. But it wasn't like stipulated that you need to graduate.
Not at all.
It wasn't no you need to go to college. It was that expectation wasn't even put on me or ever. But you know, as a parent, like I wanted to break that cycle. Like I wanted my kids to have a plan and see that it is something beyond them, you know, something bigger than them, something that they can achieve and accomplish and stuff. So damn, she got some good questions. I love it. I love it. Very thought provoking. Love it. Yeah. But sometimes you don't want them to follow like the same patterns, but you do put expectations. I do agree. I've done it.
Yeah, you expect them to
I expect them to be better, you know.
Society,
and I didn't do it not the negative things, you know, but I did like have a certain set of expectations for the kids. I did, and you know, and now as an adult and a GG, like I sit back and I say, you know, I felt like I did something right. You know, I was like, the kids turned out fine. Yes. Like, you know, some of them are parents on their own and things like that.
Yeah, and you know, and that's what they
say.
Rudy,
Hey.
They say that you never really know if you've done a really good job raising your children until they become adults. Yes. And I
sit back and I look, I was like, I guess me being that tough parent, but I was still loving and nurturing, but I showed them a better way. Like, you know, you could be better and do better. Like, don't fall into the trap. And my biggest fear was my kids being a stereotype. I'm like, you already got tough because you Black. You already got tough because, you know, people are already going to look at you different. Okay? So, but don't fall into that stereotype. Right. You know, I always just tell them that. I was like, you do better. Do what you need to do for you, you know? So, so I definitely changed like a lot of the patterns and mindset of from growing up, you know, and not having that adult to really guide me and tell me the right thing, you know. It was just like I just wanted to do better, you know, for myself. And then I knew when I had children that I was going to break that cycle, and I wanted to lead my children the way they should go. Yeah, I'm not have them just like figuring it out, you know, like I had to. Yeah. And they said, let go of blame, like. Let go of blame. Gotta let go of blame. Wow. Right.
Yeah, because you know, I know some people, you know, and it's like they do, you know, it's like they're adults. Yes. But they still be angry at their parents, you know, because it's like, oh, my parents didn't show this, my parents didn't do this, my parents didn't line this up. Yes. Or whatever. And I feel like I get it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yes. But you know, it's like once you get into adulthood where, you know, you start to make your own decisions and you know, things like that stuff, you know what I mean? You just can't continue to blame these other people. No. You have to take control. Yes. You have to take control of your life, your choices, you know, your movements. You have to take control over what you're attracting, you know, at that point, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just not up to them anymore, you know? But,
They said it's not helpful to focus on those in your childhood who have harmed you. Like, work on forgiveness. Pray that they learn and grow from their mistakes. Like you said, like holding on to it. Don't hold on to it. Don't hold on to it. Like let it go. Like you said, like I actually had experience like that. Like with my like first husband. Yeah. Like I remember him being as a grown adult, and he would sit there and just like sob and cry and just be like so angry. Like, you know, like he would want to like self-medicate itself by like drinking a whole 6-pack of beer and things like that, just to hide the pain. And it's like the more he drank, like the more his emotions would come out, and he would just talk about, when I was a child, my dad used to beat me, or my mom didn't love me. Like it was all this stuff about childhood would come out, and I would just watch this grown man just sob and sob and sob, and everything he sobbed about was things that happened to him as a child. Things that happened, like he never let it go. I'm like, you like 30, 40 years old, and you're still holding on to these trauma filled experiences that you went through. Like you have not let it go. Like you didn't talk to your parents about how it made you feel. You know, like y'all are adults, and he has so much resentment against his parents a lot. Like we would be in the same spaces, but soon as like he got to like drinking or something, all his anger will come out and stuff like that. So like they never really understand why he would get so angry at them. Yeah. And I'll be like, you need to like talk to them. You need to talk to them because like you've suppressed this for so long, but you're still crying about it as an adult. It was tough. But yeah, it was like he blamed them for how his life turned out. Never forgave. And they said, make your life a prayer and a meditation. Yes. They said, let your relationship with God in whatever form you are attracted to become the most important relationship in your life. Work on devotion and acceptance of the divine will. Woo! Yes, meditation. How we said, like, let your life be prayer or meditation. Meditation. Mindfulness.
I always say that I'm in a constant state of giving thanks.
Giving thanks.
So that's like where I'm at now with myself, you know what I mean? You know, even like sometimes like, you know, because they said road rage like crazy. So, but like now, like, you know, somebody cut me off or something like that, or I see them rushing or whatever, and I'll be like, maybe they're late for work, you know what I mean? Maybe something's happened with their child, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's like I just be like giving grace. Giving grace. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? For one, it's just be like, you know what? Like maybe they had a bad day. Whatever the case may be, that they feel like they need to be in that. I don't need to join them.
Join them, yes. Yeah, because their situations go bad like that.
You know what I'm saying? You know, because it's like, you know, it's like, because it'd be like, if I let them upset me and now I'm upset, you know what I'm saying, and stuff, and, you know, it's like, I just remember having to, like, get control of that. You know what I'm saying? I remember, like,
it's easy to fall into that trap when people be cutting you off and all crazy. I'm like, what's in the work? Like, I find myself, my pressure getting up, you like, Woosa, I'm all stressed out. They're in a whole nother car. They already gone. You know then I almost made you go up on the sidewalk and then they go and kept moving, and you still upset. Like, Lord, yeah, I know that's hard. That's the way you definitely have to meditate and say, Lord Jesus, take the wheel. I do that. I'm like, Lord, take the wheel. Take the wheel. Woo, calm down, Musa. They said, consider if you are ready to help others who perhaps have suffered in their similar ways. So sometimes people you know, carry out things that they're going through. So see how you can help them. They might have suffered. You know, this is why they behave or act that way. They say, or be open to the possibility of doing this when you have made some progress and letting it go, forgiving and accepting it.
So that's like, it's like once you have been able to learn how to let some things go, it's like showing someone else how they can also help. Help them to let it go.
They said this can take many forms and need not to be formal therapy or counseling. But knowing that you have suffered might help you to be more understanding and accepting of people who act out with anger or verbal abuse.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah. So they say like life is like a school and we receive lots of lessons. Yes. But before we can go to higher grades, we have tests to come to help us learn and grow. I always say, Mike, I've gone through so many tests. My life is a testimony. You can't have a testimony without the test. You're like, you might not understand it, but everything happens for a reason. And I always say your steps have already been ordered.
And that's why healing is a journey.
Yes, it is.
Because it's like, you know, it's not like you reach this moment of enlightenment and you're going to be forever.
I know.
You know what I mean? Yes. Because it's like that starts over again, like every moment. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Because anything can just trigger you and throw you off, you know, track, you know.
Yep. It says something that your challenging upbringing has been specifically designed to help you. Will make it more possible that you can turn the darkness of pain into the light of love and joy.
Wow.
And that note.
And accepting that your childhood
has been specifically designed to help you to help you make it possible.
Has been, because I remember I thought about that many times. Because I was
Yes.
like, had I not gone through the things
Yes.
that I have been through, would
Yes.
I be the person that I am right
Yes.
now?
That part.
You know what
That
I'm
part.
saying? And it's like, and I love me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. I feel like it definitely shaped
You
me
know what
into
I'm
the
saying?
woman that I am today.
Right.
Going through that.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yes. Definitely persevered. Have been definitely resilient and everything.
Right.
Like I have that story and that testimony of what I went through, how far I've come.
Yeah.
How God has brought me over.
Yeah.
Because I always say, like, I'm not supposed to be here.
Yes.
Like the devil tried to take me out many times, but God had a bigger plan. He tried to destroy me.
Yeah.
He had a bigger plan. That's why I'm here today.
Yes.
And I had my testimony.
Yes. Here thriving.
Yes, here thriving. Yes.
Yes.
But yes, that has been our subject. Does your childhood affect or impact your adulthood? And yes, we have learned a lot. I've learned a lot from me. Yeah. And this is like real talk. These things do happen, and a lot of people are affected by it. There's key takeaways from it. Although you can have negative reactions or adverse experiences from it, you can't overcome. You can't overcome. So, as always, I start out with showing the problems and how things can negatively affect you, and then giving you an outlook, a positive outlook of how you can overcome it and come through it. So I hope you have learned something, and I really appreciate those who engaged in the chat, because those were very interesting questions, and it definitely makes you think, and be able to like dive deeper down into the conversation and the discussion at hand. So I totally appreciate that. I totally appreciate that. But yeah, that has been our time today. And I really appreciate everybody who joined us today for our Sister Talk Sundays. As always, we do this every Sunday at 3 o'clock. And I always say, you never know what we're going to talk about. You never know what we're going to talk about. Each week we have a different topic of discussion. So we really appreciate you for being here. You could have been anywhere today, and you joined our live, and for that we're so grateful. So grateful and appreciative. Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming in, Event Yours. I really appreciate your support for today. And so we hope that we will see you next Sunday at 3 o'clock. And as always, if you have not done anything for yourself, please do something for you. Yes. Please do something for you. I hope you have a great rest of the day and an amazing week. And we'll see you Sunday. Same time. All right. Yes. Until then. Say hi to Goddess Janae. Go check out my. Yes. Oh, yes. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Yes. I can't wait. Yes. See you in. Oh, what's that? You're talking about a cruise? Oh, it's another cruise happening in December? What? I thought you were talking about the one happening next, what's it, July? August. Oh. Oh, so you're going to be on a cruise. Okay. She said she's going to be on a cruise. Yeah. Okay, well, enjoy. Yes. Live your life, girl. I love that. Yes. Live your best life. Yes. Enjoy. Yeah. Have a fabulous cruise. Yeah. But again, this is Goddess Janae of Artistic Healing Expressions. And we got Goddess Tamika, TB's Life. Yes. I appreciate my sis so much. I appreciate it so much. Yes. But all love. We appreciate you. So until next time, have a good one. Yeah.